Let's talk about remarketing.
All right.
Can you educate us in the simplest terms possible? What is it? Who should be doing it? Why is it important?
There's two types. There's query-based, which is the search intent when someone has searched and gone to your website. And then there's intent-based, which means someone types in something like summer vacations, and then the next thing you see is a whole bunch of different ads for cruise lines.
Mhm.
Both of those are remarketing.
For the purposes of our discussion today, we're going to focus on one of those, right?
The search-based.
Okay.
Most people are paying for traffic to come to their website. Some
Mhm.
people aren't. But either way, remarketing is by far one of the best ROIs you can get because you're already getting people to your website one way or another, whether it's through paid traffic, through emails, through partnerships, referrals, whatever it is. You're already getting people to the website, and most people are not converting on the first time.
95+%.
90 easily.
Yeah.
And because of that, you have the opportunity to put the same message or a different message in front of the people. Either way, you get a second shot.
Mhm.
Some people think that they don't want to do it because they haven't seen results. It's measured differently than paid search because it's about brand recognition, recalling the experience, recalling the company. It's not a one click because I need something right now
Mhm.
to get them to come back to the site.
Yeah, and so many times I hear companies, big and small, saying we're running paid ads, Google ads. And we ask, like, is there any remarketing happening? They're like, no. And I just wonder, is that like a, malpractice by the vendor? Is it something they just don't have skill in? Is it something that they themselves haven't seen success? Like, I just don't understand why for relatively low dollars, every client, with fine, the exception of I have an immediate problem. I'm a plumber and I need a plumber right now. Okay, they need it immediately. But what about everybody else in the world?
I think it's a combination of people either being lazy and not knowing, or people having the clients having bad experience with it because they'll put some money into it, but it's not set up properly.
Mhm.
They end up wasting the money.
I mean, just like anything in paid media, right? I mean,
Yes, but
you
this
log
more
into
so. It's a lot easier to waste money on retargeting because you can be showing your sites or you can be showing your ad on irrelevant sites. You can be showing it to little kids. You can, for the most part, you wouldn't, if you're any sort of professional service, say you're a lawyer, you don't need to be showing your ads on, Disney applications
Sure.
or those types of apps. But being able to show it on relevant websites where the users are, you're paying to get in front of the users wherever they're online.
Mhm.
So
Is it primarily Meta? Like, would you start with Meta, Facebook, Instagram as a starting point?
you could. I mean, it would be a different type of strategy for that and a different messaging. But yes, you could certainly start there, or you could go on from the web perspective.
Take our own business here. People are going on Google, typing in some version of web design company near me, whatever it is. They come to our website. They don't take an action. They start to see podcast clips of us talking about the things we do and issues in the industry, et cetera. And literally from week one of doing this, almost every conversation is, I heard the podcast. I really like what you said about this. Here's a line you said that really struck me. It's a way of, as you said, a second chance of getting in front of someone you've already paying for traffic, right? And build authority, build relevance, prove you're a real person, not some nameless, faceless organization, as I call it. I like all those things.
You can really build upon that experience. You take our example. People come, they'll go to the website, even if they fill out a form before the initial consultation, we start showing ads of client testimonials, show our portfolio, show other examples of websites or talk about our process. All of that already warms up. So by the time that we're having those initial conversations with the client, we're not trying to sell them on, hey, look at our portfolio, here's our process.
Trying to prove who we are. It's just like...
Correct. We can shift the conversation to be more tactical on here's how we're going to build the website. Here's what we're going to X, Y, and Z.
We're the vendor. It's like we're the vendor of choice going into a conversation. I think that's really helpful because it reduces time in sales. It reduces... I feel like I'm having less conversations with people that aren't my client generally.
I agree. I mean, you can break up those I don't want to call it an awkward sales process, but no one wants to be sold to.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can break that process up over hours or days or weeks in some cases, and by showing a snippet here, snippet here, snippet here, you can move past that before the call.
Sure. And let's for the sake of anyone listening, like let's break it up into several type of groups. Let's say you're a small business with relatively small traffic, and maybe you're doing some content efforts. You're not doing any paid media. You have 10, 15, 20 people a day coming to the website. Should remarketing happen for this person?
The answer is yes. I believe so for a couple of reasons. First of all, there's a big caveat. You have to have some traffic coming to the website to be able to remarket because you need some sort of segment. That aside, especially for small businesses, the nice thing about the remarketing is you don't have to have these elaborate email funnels. You don't have to have a ton of content, because we can show we can take a small subset of either static images or video, and we can get that back in front of those people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have 3 different 10 sequence email campaigns ready to go.
Yep.
It's very easy to get it up and going, and the people are already coming to your website anyways.
Yep. They're already coming to the website anyway, and why not show it to them? And also, one thing, you're not paying the same amount as someone with major traffic, right?
You're paying pennies.
Yeah.
Literally pennies to get back in front of those people.
Yeah. And so that's one group. So maybe another group is small, mid-sized business running Google ads, has traffic organic from building up over the years. Even more of a reason to do it, correct?
If you're a lawyer, for instance, or you're an accountant or whatever, if you have multiple services, people, especially if you're running the ads like you said, someone's coming into your website. Hopefully they're not landing on your homepage. They're going to a specific service page or a product page. You can get that specific messaging back in front of the person with relevant content, with a relevant message. If you're a attorney, for instance, and you do 5 different types of areas of law that you practice.
They spend time on one page. They should see a
for that
remarketing ad
specific
about that
page, not something completely irrelevant.
Mm-hmm. With us, are you looking for web design? Are you looking for managed hosting? What are you looking for? Let's show the right message.
Correct. There's no reason to show someone digital marketing consulting if they're looking for a website.
Yep.
Sure, you can argue that, someone who needs a website might need marketing, but we know for sure that they need a website. So why would we not show them website-related content?
Agreed. And the same goes, again, bigger companies, enterprise, et cetera, that may or may not be spending money on PPC. Why not enhance the brand, enhance the message, show video, quality video content to everybody that's coming to the site, or a vast majority, the ones that can be picked up and put in this bucket and remarketed to, correct?
It's easy to start. Great ROI. You already have the people that you know for sure are coming to your website and are looking. It just makes sense.
Could you speak briefly to anyone like you've touched it briefly, but it's so critical. Talk about the tracking a little bit. How's this thing set up? Talk about what are the metrics that are important that somebody that's doing remarketing should be looking at, like maybe a handful of them.
So let's start off by what not to look at. Gauging success based on impressions. Impressions is purely a vanity metric, in my opinion, although it can be used from a tactical standpoint to look at reach and availability and market share of what you can get. How many times can you serve the ad?
Mm-hmm.
I would look at the number of times you're serving the specific ad to the person. If we have a specific size or a specific piece of content on, say, an image that you want to show to someone, are you showing it to them 3 times, 5 times, 10 times? I wouldn't necessarily push it specifically past 10 times per user. I would look at the click-through rate. I would look at what happens once they click back to that. And then I would look at the time duration between the initial time that they came to the website from whatever channel, whether it's a referral or social media or Google ads, to the time that they clicked on the remarketing ad.
Mm.
And then what happens from there. That's really what the purpose is. Back in the day, there was the law of 7, of you have to get in front of the person 7 times. That is the digital translation to what this remarketing is doing.
Mm-hmm. You need multiple touch points. Someone's not going to raise their hand and say, yes, I want to work with you. I'm ready to open my wallet and give money to you without building some kind of a relationship.
In most cases, correct, especially in high value, high ticket,
Yeah.
professional service item areas. That happens all the time. And not to mention, how many times are people opening tabs on the computer, leaving it, taking a call, going to bed, whatever it is, and then they just leave it.
Yeah.
Close the browser, whatever. It wasn't even an intentional way to leave. They just left.
Yeah.
Now you get back in front of them.
Just seems like a no-brainer. Like, again, in our own business, we're spending significant dollars on Google Ads, and why would we not want to get back in front of them? And not to take the conversation in another way, but like, we know that there's a direct relationship between spend on Google Ads and amount of leads we get in Meta, right?
Correct.
I mean, it's a direct relationship. We spend less in Google, we get less in Meta. We spend more in Google, we get more in Meta. So they're interconnected in a very interesting way.
I think a lot of it has to do with the intent. You have a very specific search intent when you go to Google. Meta, no one's searching for anything. You're scrolling, you're looking at whatever is of interest on the feed, on the videos, family, friends. Being able to get those placements is the touch point. You can do it on LinkedIn. You can do it on a handful of whatever other sites that people are on, but you get your message back in front of them, and you can show them a second piece of content that's related, a third piece. Someone wants a website from us, we can show them the portfolio. We can show them client testimonials. We can show them the process, all because they went into Google and they typed in whatever, web developer near me.
What about tracking, the importance of tracking and making sure that the numbers and the data is correct that you're actually getting? I think that's such a missed piece. I bet you if you go and log into 10 or 15 accounts, most of them will be screwed up.
So the importance to having proper tracking, especially for remarketing, is you need to be able to understand the life cycle of the people. Now, browsers by default have, depending on the platform, have various windows of how long those cookies last for. So you have a cookie on a computer. Sometimes it's 1 day, 7 days, 30 days, whatever it is. You want to be able to track how long does it take for someone to actually convert. Because bigger purchases, I will tell you from my own experience, e-commerce specifically, or lead gen, if it has a big price, it'll typically take a much longer buying cycle. If you're trying to sell a phone case, no problem. People pay the $25, doesn't work, they throw it out. You're trying to sell them a $2,000 sofa, it's going to take that longer cycle. And that cycle could take 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And understanding that window is very important. If we're able to see from the data that conversions happen within 3 days, within the first 3 days, then a week, then at the end of the first month, then 60 days, then 90 days, we can stagger out the messaging throughout those periods where we know there's a higher percentage of people ready to convert. Lead gen, same thing. If we know that someone who's looking for, I don't know, pick a service.
Our service.
Someone who's looking for a website. It's a big deal for the company. It's not cheap necessarily.
Cheap is the most expensive.
It's also relative, but yes. Someone who's considering different vendors, they'll start looking for a website vendor, a developer, and then it might take them 2-3 days before they make the call. Then they have that sales call.
They have several sales calls.
Calls. We send them a proposal. It takes them another 3 to 5 days to review it with the team.
They're talking to some other vendor at the same time.
They're comparing their options. By the time someone's ready to make that decision, that could be 2 weeks out from the initial click. But what about the people that need much longer or who decide, hey, I'm not ready for this right now? We want to stay on top of mind for the first couple months.
Yeah.
And then periodically after that, obviously we want to funnel them into our email campaign if they haven't already signed up for that. So maybe we'd show a different ad 2 months later about trying to get them re-engaged. It's very important for the life cycle of optimization for the customer journey.
And just talk for a moment again about the tracking. It's always an issue when we take over accounts. Like, what, from a 30,000 foot view, what needs to happen when you look at an account, and what are you looking for and fixing with respect to ensuring the data coming from the website back is correct?
Tracking is important for anything that you're doing digitally because you need to be able to understand your ROI.
Yeah.
If you're doing a branding campaign, car companies are notorious for this. They go through the programmatic channels where you just see the ads. You really can't track an ROI on branding, which to me, that's one of the key reasons why we don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you track like branding? There's studies and there's certain metrics, but that's not the demand generation that most people, at least most of our clients, are looking for. They're looking for, I need to invest this. I need to get this out of it. I need leads. I need phone calls. I need sales.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't track it, how do you measure it? How do you know if you're putting in $200, $2,000, $20,000 into X platform? How do you know what it's generating?
Mm-hmm.
You need to be able to track that.
Yes, you need excellent reporting.
You need the reporting so you can make better decisions in the future, but you need the tracking for the immediate day-to-day to understand what's actually happening.
So you need the reporting, and you need someone to understand and explain the reporting.
100%.
Which I'm looking at you.
Yeah. You just need the tracking.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's, again, I just want to say it's consistently an issue when we look at accounts, even accounts that are spending significant dollars. Problematic. It's not like, and I've just have it in my mind, it's not like you go somewhere and you buy a car because the car is this particular thing and you're expecting that it's always going to work and there's a warranty and everything else, right? It's like you're spending money. You have some kind of vendor, digital marketing person that's involved with varying skill set. And oftentimes not having the reporting right can really, really, really negatively affect the campaign. I'm just making the statement that if you are going to do any kind of paid media, you must absolutely dial in the numbers and ensure that you're doing it right. I'll say it a different way. I think someone said this about investing that I know nothing about, by the way. But if you don't understand it, you should have no business doing it, right? You have no business doing it. And in the same sense of anything to do with paid media, if you don't understand the numbers, if you don't have clarity over what it is that you're spending, you need to just hit the pause button right now and get clarity. Maybe the vendor's great, right? But maybe they're not. How would you know?
I don't know how you can put money into any marketing channel blindly and just hope that it's going to work.
Yeah, but I mean, Mike, it's happening. I would guesstimate.
You might as well put up a billboard for that.
I would guess that more than half of the people in the country spending money on PPC campaigns under a certain amount are blindly spending without great reporting and getting some kind of a dashboard from the company that they've hired that has some kind of metrics that may or may not even be relevant. I really feel that way. I don't mean to exaggerate, but that's my opinion.
I would estimate that it's probably a lot higher.
Higher.
I think it doesn't have to do with the amount of spend. I've seen accounts with massive spends have tracking issues.
Not just tracking, but general reporting, general lack of understanding, general not focusing the owner's attention on the things that matter.
I think it's one of those things you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You have a lot of people who don't want to ask questions, who don't know how to ask the questions. You don't know what questions to ask. You get this report, you see a whole bunch of fancy charts, some crazy colors, and like, wow, this must be great.
There's a bar chart. There's a pie chart. It must mean something good. And there's also something else too. It's like the business is working to some degree, and they just have no idea whether this part of it is the thing that's actually making the business work.
Sure.
So let's not touch it, right? Let's not touch it because maybe
they view it
that's
like an
the
insurance
reason.
policy.
Yeah,
You know,
correct. I'm going to pay the couple grand to the vendor. I'm going to spend a couple grand on the platform. It seems to be working.
Back to your reporting. You get the report. They don't know how to read the report. They don't know what they're looking at. So they don't really even know if it's what it's doing.
There's a green plus sign next to some of the data. I mean, that must be a good thing.
Yeah, good thing. you get these people that have the marketing companies that are working basically in their own little silo without the conversations with the business stakeholders to be able to say, here's how it's having the impact.
Yeah.
So now you have reporting issues. You have people that don't know what questions to ask for or how to, which is something that I feel we take a lot of pride in being able to explain to our clients how to read the reports and what the metrics actually mean to the business's bottom line. But moving past that, then you have the tracking issues themselves. Websites have outdated plugins. They're not maintained. Someone makes an update. Someone deletes something. If the tracking's not checked regularly, something can drop off, and then it can go weeks and months.
Without knowing.
Correct. And worse, you're making mistakes based on incorrect tracking. So if you're not tracking clicks and conversions from a specific campaign, you'll likely assume that it's just not working, when in fact, maybe that's bringing you a major percentage of that of your traffic.
And look, the other side of the coin is daily report coming in via email, exact spend, exact numbers that matter. days cannot go by where problems will continue without us knowing, right? Both for our own account and client
Sure.
accounts. I mean, it's just night and day. It's absolutely critical. And understanding the numbers and like gleaning from the data and like understanding what should be done about it is critical. But anyway, what do you say to anyone listening to this that isn't currently doing remarketing? What should they do?
You should
Besides
start.
calling us.
You should start. Remarketing it's relatively easy compared to other channels to get set up.
Mm-hmm.
Very low investment. You know these people are coming to your website.
Yep, from your own efforts already.
Second chance to be able to get in front of them.
Yep.
It has a huge ROI in the sense of being able to get people re-engaged, and you've already paid for that click once or paid somehow in some capacity to get that user to the website.
Oh, one thing we didn't talk about. What happens if they have no content in order to show in these remarketing efforts?
That's
What are they going to? No, I'm being serious.
No.
What are they going to do? What if the client has zero media?
There's ways to get remarketing content set up.
What's one way that they could do it?
A little biased, you can come to the studio, you can get some content. Graphics, static images, they work.
So I'll say it my way. We could either design on brand creatives. Okay, we're a design first company. You could come use our studio, this being one of them that we're sitting in now, and create some media around who you are, what you do, why you do it, right? It's obvious stuff.
Yeah.
Top 10 things your best clients ever ask you. It's a very good place to start. And we'll package it for you, and we'll get it live for you.
You need to use the content to tell a story. You don't want, if you go to Canva and create your images, some sort of static, generic images that have nothing, it's going to get lost in the mix. At that point, I would argue you're probably better off not doing it. But
I'm over the random marketing person creating some stuff in Canva and giving it to the client. I'm just don't want to hear that anymore.
There's so many tools out there that when you look at the creatives that are being pushed, they're very good. And if you're not competitive on that, on having quality content, then you're going to get lost in the mix, and that'll turn into its own wasted spend.
Yeah. A story for another day.
A story for another day.
Yeah. Thank you for the info. Very important, very interesting. Thank you.